Hello again, friends of the garage. Welcome back to the NTM HQ, and today's topic will be Morticia and the underbody. You remember last time we got all the body work finished. Now we need to get the underbody in place, get the dolly out from underneath. Let's start really finalising this car so we can go hit the track. Come on, out to the shed we go. It's time to go and do some work. Okay, friends of the garage, so we're at that stage where we're past the boring bits of sanding and painting and sanding and buffing and repetitive. So it's into the interesting stuff now, and we're going to start putting the suspension components in. And look what we've got. We've got plenty of white line bushes to go into the arms and the wishbones. We've got some white line sway bars to tighten her up. We've got some Shockworks coilovers specially built by spec from Chris. So we're very happy about that. Now we've destroyed the garage today just so that we can get to the press, which is located down the back there, to try and press a couple of these white line bushes into the top wishbones of the front suspension. We've also put a new set of really nice looking V8 Roadster top ball joints. I tell you what, these are serviceable ball joints. Now as you can see, we've started assembling some of this. These ball joints here, as I said, they're serviceable. So you know, we can take the cap out of it, we can grease them, we've got the grease nipple there to service them. Really nice bit of kit. But anyway, as I said, those Shockworks coilovers, specially built by Chris, specifically for track work. We're really going to get into the final assembly. Now, we've reminded ourselves today that the next round of the state super sprints is the first run the super sprints have done in Wakefield Park. So we're going down to Goulburn again. Been a long time since we've had Morticia on the track. But we figure that October 20, the next round of the super sprints down there at Wakefield, is going to be the best date to perhaps get her back out. So we've set the date, we've got the work to do, we're going to get into it. Now it did strike me as I was making that last statement that if you watch a bit of YouTube, and look, if you're looking at me now, I guess that's what you do, there's plenty of guys out there that talk about engine developments, horsepower, all that fun stuff, you know. Greg Peters over there on the Car Passion channel, also the boys at Nap Performance, yeah, they're all talking about horsepower. The guys at Flying Miata will tell you a little bit about product, because that's what they do, they sell product. But nobody really goes into too much of the handling of an MX-5. Now, if you own an MX-5, and you Americans call it Miatas, you want it because your handles. Now, out of the box, they handle pretty good, but you can make them handle better if you want to do some really good performance stuff. So, as I said, I've put a fair bit of effort into suspension. I'll come back to you with a bit of a report on what really that has done for me. Stand by, later episodes, but for the moment, let's get the girl back on the track. Whilst she's up in the air, the new Torsen diff that's in there, we've replaced that one from the old single spinner. So before we start doing anything, let's put some gear oil in the diff. So when Morticia first came back from Dengar, having had the chassis straightened after we collected the wall, if you cast your mind back, we built this nice little dolly so that the body was still manoeuvrable here in the workshop. We do have other things we still need to do in the workshop, so you know, having it able to be moved around is a fairly key thing. So what we need to do first up today is get it down off the dolly and sitting up on some jack stands, and that way we can finish putting all those suspension components in together, wheels on on the ground, that's a start. And so with that, the dolly is out, ready for use again, probably next time on Mindy. And there's Morticia sitting there on the jack stands, ready for the suspension to be finished. Well, as per always, trendsetters, we love getting presents. We've got a box which should be the final piece of the puzzle to get Morticia back on the ground on her wheels. So let's have a real quick look if we can work out how to cut open the box. This could be the challenge. What have we got in here? We've got a shift boot, only because the other one has shrunk a little bit, so that's a minor thing, but important. Throw it in the bodywork so we can get into there and get her done. There is something seriously missing. The boys at MX5 Mania have sent me some stickers. Nice, thank you boys. And girls, shouldn't be sexist. But these, my friends, look at that. These are the adjustment pins that hold the lower wishbones front and rear. So we're going to put these in, put the final wishbones in. Look out. I'll go through a little bit of the theory of how we put the suspension together on this one too, as we put these in. Well, my friends, that little box of goodies had some really nice stuff in it, particularly the adjustment pins that go in your lower wishbones front and rear. Now, why would you change these pins, you might ask? I can tell you why. Let's have a bit of a bo peep at what we've got here. This is one of the washers from one of the bolt pins, and if you look inside the edge of the hole that's in there, that's supposed to stop that from moving. And look at just how nasty that is looking in there. There's big chunks moving out of there, and this is another one of the other pins, and if you look at how much slop and movement there is in there, just doesn't control your camber, your caster, or any of that sort of stuff. This is one of the beautiful new pins, very different design, locked into place with these couple of grooves and little locating tongues on the washer, and there's just little to no movement in that little baby there at all. So when we adjust the caster up and the camber up, that's going to be nice and tight and stay there. No movements, no clunks, no horrible sounds. Going to be really happy with that end result, folks. Righto, so now with the dolly out of the way, it's time to do that last assembly of those suspension bits. But with that, we've got to get on the dog and bone to Chris down there at Shockworks, because he said he was going to give me a helping hand on some settings before I put everything bolted together. So we'll get on the blower. Hello, Chris. Yeah, g'day, Chris. Greg, No Talk Motorsport. Yeah, just ready to do that setup of those beautiful coilovers you sent to us. Yeah, mate. Oh, look, that's fabulous, Chris. Support and backup service from you guys is sensational, and good quality product made in Australia, so really happy with that. Got the notes here on what I should be doing with that, so we're going to get into it. Yeah, thanks, mate. You'll see it all happening very soon. Cheers. Well, we've got the info. Time to start working. So, along with all of the wishbone bushes, we've gone with the good people from Whiteline for an upgraded set of roll bars, front and rear. Let's stick them in and see what they do. So there you have it, folks, those beautiful Whiteline roll bars in place with the link pins over there, Now, just to give you a bit of a heads up on the whole package, as we said, white line bushes in all of the wishbones. Now we've gone with some offset bushes up the top here, so we can we've pulled the top wishbone in. We've got offset lower ball joints in the bottom, so we've actually been able to generate the beautiful level of negative camber while still sitting at a very neutral position on the camber adjustment pin, which in essence is going to allow us a huge amount of flexibility back here in the caster adjustment. Now, under the Motorsport Australia rules, we can only run with 3 degrees of negative camber. So with 3 degrees of negative camber, we've actually pulled the bottom pin in slightly and allows us to really push out a nice level of negative caster. So we're probably aiming for about 3.5 degrees. We've got the appointment with the front end alignment machine in 2 days' time. So essentially everything is together on this car. We've put in all of the new bushes. We've put those great looking Shockworks shocks in. We've set up the droop on that as per what Chris has instructed us to do. We've got the amount of compression or preload on the springs set where we need it to be. Gives us a little bit of flexibility to play with that. We've still got adjustment in the sway bars, so once we actually hit the track, this beautiful little car, there's so much change to the underneath. It's going to be magnificent. We'll start setting some really cracking times, get the handling on it right. Then once the times look good with the handling, we're going to start playing with horsepower. Now, a couple of different thoughts on the horsepower. Whether we build a naturally aspirated 1.8 with lots of forged bits and pieces inside, get her up to about 180, 200 horsepower at the back wheels. Whether we boost, whether we perhaps even, excuse me, do an engine swap without getting too carried away. Over there, behind those couple of wheels at the back there, and I'm not going to give too much away, but there's a couple of motors sitting back there. One of those could perhaps end up in here, or it could end up in the sister car, which is Mindy, the red NA. We'll see how we go. Folks, keep watching. There's still more to come. Let's see what it looks like once we put this on the front end alignment machine. We're ready to go and compete and have some fun on the track. Alright, well, it's been a bit of madness and mayhem. We've got all the wishbones in place, we've got those bushes pressed in, we've roughly set up where we think we need to have some of the camber and caster just by using the ichrometer. Happy with where we're at the moment, but sadly, and I've been scratching my head, I have been searching for hours. I've gone right through the workshop. I have gone for a drive over to my storage unit. I have searched high and low, inside, outside, upside down. The NA8 has a U-shaped chassis support that bolts up to the rear subframe, links up with the back of the body tub, and I know I have seen it kicking around after we pulled all of the underneath out. But do you reckon I can see anywhere where I have kept it? It's just driving me nuts. But anyway, so what do we do if we can't find it? We're getting out the welder, we're getting out some steel, we're going to build ourselves a bigger and better rear subframe support. So let's have a look at how we put this together. So here are our 6 mounting tubes. Let's weld some gaps into them so that we can bolt them up to the support frame. So that's the first mount made with a test fit. That goes beautifully. 5 more to go. Righto, there's 6 mounting points, 5 in front of you, 1 under the car still. Let's weld up some rods between them, make up a proper bracket and brace. Well, there's our subframe brace tacked up from underneath. Now let's weld her up, give it a lick of paint, make it look pretty and bolt her back in place full time. And with that, a lick of paint on there, it's all welded up. Let's stick it underneath. Beautiful. You didn't really think I was going to paint it a boring black, did you? And so, out of necessity, as a result of losing the original factory frame, we have built this brace, bolted into place beautifully. Very happy with the end result. Let's test it. That basically finalises the reassembly of Morticia the track car. Let's go racing! So it's been a big day. The girls back together. The only thing left now, take it down and get a proper wheel alignment done. Then we can get her out on the track. Once again, thanks for watching. Next episode, we're going to get down to the wheel alignment tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that one before we hit the track next time round. Thanks again. See you real soon.